Hey, this is the next episode of Collaborating with Killers, and we are going to be interviewing our guest, Anthony Cotter, who goes by Acidbrain with your
What up?
project. What's up, man? And we will be talking about death metal, gore, and you also do some non-death metal music. So we're going to ask you about that and a bunch of your art.
Word sounds good, man.
Very cool. This is our first video. So you're the first one over the phone.
This
Hopefully
is
everything
Killer.
sounds all right when we get it done. So
Nice.
let's start. I'll go over some questions here that I got for you, man. I guess let's start with your like childhood and your teens. Why don't you tell us a little bit about like growing up and especially when you started getting into like heavy metal, horror movies, the type of shit that you're into now. Like when did that start?
I'm gonna say the metal thing started right around the eighth grade. I kind of discovered the music that I liked right around the sixth grade. A lot of hip hop. I was listening to Cypress Hill, Dr.
Yeah.
Dre, Snoop Dogg, all that stuff. I wasn't even into metal. I used to see like Metallica, Megadeth on MTV with the long hair and the tight pants, and I really kind of thought it was just cheesy as all hell, man. And then,
Right?
I was just like hip hop all the way. Then in eighth grade,
Yeah.
I saw the music video for "More Human Than Human" by White Zombie,
Hell yeah.
Yep.
and that just got me into metal right there. And then I just found more metal bands that I liked, and it was metal for me from then on.
Nice. Dude, that was the opposite for me. I was one of the guys, all I listen to is death metal. And you can't understand the lyrics, and that's it. But yeah, I learned variety is the spice of life.
My
Cool. Like,
first death metal album was "Tomb of the Mutilated" by Cannibal Corpse,
Hell yeah.
nice.
and I
Yep.
think that was a huge influence on Acidbrain today.
Yeah. Dude, Cannibal Corpse is still fucking awesome. Yeah.
Some of the
It's true.
best
They're
Cool,
still
cover
up
man.
there
artwork.
killing shit.
So, first horror movie. What first scary movies do you remember? Or were you into scary movies as a kid?
That's tricky. I mean, I used to, I'm old, so I used to go to the video stores and I would see all the
Yeah.
horror movies on the shelves,
Yeah.
before I was able to actually watch them. And I think my mind developed a lot of preconceived notions about these movies and these characters and how
Yeah.
horrifying this shit was going to be when I got to watch it. And then when I did get to watch a lot of these horror slasher films, I was kind of underwhelmed. I was like, this shit's not really that crazy. You know what I mean? You see these covers for these Friday the 13th movies, and it looks all brutal, and then you watch the movie, and it's kind of silly, But then you dig in to the scene, and then you start finding the real brutal movies. But you
Yep.
got to dig
Yep.
for them.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
I like the
Absolutely.
Terrifier movies. I think the Terrifier movies are bringing the slasher genre to where it always
Absolutely.
needed to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. They're gory
Yeah.
as hell. Yeah.
Second one's the best.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I haven't seen the new one.
It's
You gotta see
good,
it.
but the second one just that's
I don't
peak
think
horror.
anything tops the bedroom scene in the second one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think
Exactly.
anything's more brutal than that.
Nothing. It's been a long time since something caught me off guard where I was like, "Whoa."
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just keeps going and going.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
comes back with the salt.
Yes, assault. Oh, so yeah.
All right. Cool, man. Let's see. What were you in projects before Acid Brain?
Yeah,
Musical projects.
I was. This is my first metal band that I got in. I was 14. I literally only been playing drums a few months. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and this kind of group of miscreants kind of took me in and added me as their drummer because the current drummer they had only had a practice pad. He didn't even have a drum set. But I was playing with them for a few years, and it was kind of silly. And then I tried to get my own band started, which took some time. But then I was the drummer for this band, and it was called Dreadnought, and we were doing pretty well. We were together many years, and right when we were starting to really kill it, we were writing great songs, really heavy shit, and we were getting some good shows. Playing in Boston, starting to draw some crowds. Then it all blew up, and my guitar player randomly decided he had to go into the military, and my vocalist was always had a barbecue to go to instead of band practice. The bass player didn't want to learn the parts, and it all just fell apart. But I was the only one who really wanted to keep it going, so I just kept learning more instruments until I could do it all myself.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be hard with like juggling band members around and stuff through the years. That's why I've been with like one other member for 10 years, man. I watch other bands; it can be so hard.
People
Egos and
don't have the conviction.
schedules, and yeah, and then you can some of these bands got like 5 or 6 people, and I don't know how they do it to
I
get
know.
together like on a weekly basis.
Like you
Yeah,
have to have people who really want it. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I always
yep,
knew I wanted to make this music, and that's it.
yeah,
Like nothing's
yeah,
gonna stop it from happening. And
yeah,
nobody else had that drive. They all just had other shit they wanted to do, and
Yeah, life
But
gets in the
kept it
way,
going.
especially when you're
It
in that
does.
like teen to adult phase.
yeah, yep. Um, Talked about Cannibal Corpse. Are there any other influences you would like to put out there?
For Acid Brain specifically, I feel like
Yeah.
the two metal albums that I would say are parent albums for like the Murderous album, which I feel like is kind of Acid Brain's debut and like what we're most known for, or I'm most known
Uh-huh.
for now since I'm the only one left in the project. But I'd say the two parent albums would be Tomb of the Mutilated, which I already mentioned, by Cannibal Corpse,
Yeah.
and then much lesser known album. There's a little gore grind band, like kind of porno gore grind band called Anal Blast, and they were around way back. I discovered them back
So,
in around 2001, and it was led by this guy Don Decker, who's passed away now, and they just had the most ridiculous songs, just about the most ridiculous subject matter. And
yeah.
the first album was called Vaginal Vampire, and it was a play on Cradle of Filth. They were, they used the mock-up Cradle of Filth logo, and all their songs were just brutal and hysterical at the same time. And they actually had killer musicianship. There was the production
Yeah.
was they had breakdowns. They actually, I believe, it's Joey Jordison and the original bass player of Slipknot that played on that album. And
Okay.
I highly recommend checking it out. That's what inspired the little miniature songs that I do, like
Yeah.
5 second songs and stuff. They had a 9 second song called Menstrual Pancake, and I thought that was hysterical.
That's great.
Yeah, I want to
Some
look
other
this
really
band up. I'm afraid to Google that.
Dude, it reminds me a little bit of, have you heard of Cannabis Corpse?
oh yeah, they're funny as hell.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
it's like nothing but like stoner lyrics and like, yeah, total Cannibal Corpse logo and sound. Yeah.
everything I do,
Yeah.
I
They
wanted to
put a
have some
lot of
humor in there.
effort.
Gotta have
Yeah.
the humor
Dude, nothing like laughing. You got to be able to laugh in life, man.
for sure.
Jason, just a quick
Um,
note, real quick, since we're the poor version of a podcast. Apparently, Zoom has a time limit if you're not paying for the professional. So we have a 10-minute window here left. Just heads up.
Oh shit,
Yeah,
10 minutes.
okay.
I didn't
Um,
realize that was a case. So
Can we just start the call again if need be, or
Yeah.
yeah, I think maybe we'll try. If we don't get everything done,
Well,
we'll try and do it again.
if we don't cover
Yeah.
everything, you guys can just hit me back and we'll
We
continue.
will, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I guess tell me about members, past members in Acid Brain, and I know you've done some collaborations with other musicians. Do you want to talk about some of that stuff?
Yeah. So, Acid Brain started out. It was me and a guitar player I worked with for many years. He's actually the director of a kind of notorious indie horror film called The Gateway Meet. His name is Ron DeCaro. He was my guitar player in the beginning, kind of a session player. He wasn't an official member, but he was like my session guy. I would kind of, compensate him. He would come in and throw down the riffs on my songs. And I really dug his sound and his style of playing. But personality-wise, it was a different story. I felt he was a difficult guy to just work with, and eventually it got to the point where I cut ties with him, and we no longer worked together, and I started just doing all the guitar work myself. I would try to bring in a guest guitarist whenever I can because I'm not the greatest guitarist in the world. I have to work real hard to get my my riffs tight on my albums. I have to play those riffs so many times to get a clean cut. I'm a drummer first and foremost, and a bass player second. But
Gotcha.
so I started off with Ron, and then I had been talking online in the extreme horror scene to a guy named Steve Rasmussen who does reviews and stuff of extreme horror films. and he quickly got on board as vocalist. He had a great sound, and he was knocking out the tunes real fast. It was working really well, and that was kind of what established our sound. Murderous, our first album, and several singles after that. But then I always had kind of a sense that this guy Steve just, I don't know, I had the sense that he just didn't like me. I can't explain it. I just had that sense, and it kind of grew with time. And then with this past election, Donald Trump getting reelected, the Nazi regime taking over in the United States, I was speaking out against it, as I think most people should, because it's very dangerous, and what's happening. Steve,
Yeah.
who is Canadian, by the way, he gets up there and he is defending Donald Trump and defending taking away rights from people I care about, defending guys like Tom McDonald, who are up there just making fools of themselves. And that was it for me, man. With it, he couldn't deliver on the vocals anyway. I tried to be real patient. I had sent him about 10 songs, got nothing back vocal-wise. And once he got in my face about that, that was it. I kicked him out of the band, and I do it myself now. So
Yeah.
I am the only remaining member. We briefly had another guitar player, Peter. I can't pronounce the way he's his nickname, Paniotti, something like that, Nazgul. He did a couple tracks with us, solid player, but he was kind of a busy guy and wasn't able to be a full-time member.
Cool. Very cool. I guess can you describe your writing process from the idea to finished track? What's the process like for you, man?
So a lot of what I do, I consider to be channeled art and music. Like, it's not like I do write, but a lot of times this stuff just appears in my mind, and I just have to make it. And it's not like I'm sitting there trying to come up with it. It's more just like it appears, I have to bring it to life, and then more stuff appears, I have to bring it to life. Sometimes when that's not flowing as much as it usually does, I will sit there and I'll try to write stuff, but usually, I don't know, that is kind of a grueling process, and it doesn't, I don't know. But then the flow comes back, and it all comes out real fast. And
do you have a YouTube channel or like videos?
I do have a YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/The Dreadnok, DREDNOK. That was from way back with my old project, and I just never changed the link. But it's got a bunch of Acidbrain lyric videos up there, and definitely check that out. Subscribe. Trying to build it up, get the word out.
Very cool. Also, besides brutal death metal, you also do, what would you call it? Psychedelic, trip type, electric music? Yeah, go ahead. Tell us about that a little bit, man.
All right, that's kind of so I always liked the chill out music, I was back in the early days when I just listened to mostly metal. I always had a little soft spot for Massive Attack and Portishead. I always thought that was really great stuff to chill out to. And those were the only bands that I listened to that weren't metal, because they were the only ones I knew about. I didn't really have the means to just discover all this other cool, trippy music I know about now. But so once I got older and it became easier to discover new music with the internet and everything, I started exploring and trying to find more bands and artists to be inspired by. And once I finally heard music on psychedelics for the first time, that was just life-changing. Just experiencing music rather than just hearing it with my ear holes, you know what I mean? It was just changed the way I listened to music, changed everything. And that's why I named my artist name Acidbrain, is I literally feel like acid rewired how my brain works, how I think, how I live, and for the better, And I also feel like it really applied to the chill out music and the heavy music really well. It was good for that dichotomy, Am I losing you guys?
No, we're good.
Oh, cool. You just froze up for a sec. But yeah, so like Acidbrain, it could, give you a vibe of injecting somebody's brain with acid like Jeffrey Dahmer did. Or it could be like the chill out side where my brain was transformed by LSD,
Yeah.
the full way. So I thought that was kind of a cool way to see both sides of the coin with one name.
Nice. Do you? I'm looking at your YouTube page here. Do you do your own artwork for like these thumbnails and stuff?
I've done a lot of my own artwork. I do charcoal portraits a lot, and so a lot of those covers is my artwork. But for the Gore album covers, that's not really my style, and I wanted to do it right. So for the first one, I commissioned Spanish artist Raulo Caceres to do the cover, and I always thought his work was unbelievable, just incredible comic art, and he did not disappoint with the Murderous cover. It's like one of my favorite album covers ever, and I'm honored to have it as my cover art. And
Yeah, so this is really wild.
oh, excuse me, I would actually, a project that I dream about, I would love to bring Rollo back to illustrate I want to do a comic series where Rollo does a full page illustration for each one of my Gore songs. But the only constraint there is finances. You know, it's not cheap to do a project like that, and
Yeah,
I don't have the budget for it. I'd love to do it someday.
Why don't main goals as a musician? Why don't you do that, and then we'll move on to maybe some of your artwork,
Word,
the
yeah.
art end.
I mean, goal as a musician, on top of just putting my music out into the world and having people hear it, which is the obvious number one goal of any musician, is I would love to make a living off it. You know, with that,
Yeah.
we all know how much of a tricky thing that is to achieve. It's been really tough. The scammers out there are next level. Like every
Yeah.
tier higher that you make it, there's going to be a scammer there ready to just bamboozle you and take your money, and you just got to be vigilant. And it's tricky out there. Just if you're a musician trying to make it as an indie, just be careful. Don't trust anybody. Research everybody you work with.
Yeah, so we're back. We're recording again.
That's pretty good because I was going to switch it over to like focus on your artwork now.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. Are we rolling?
Yeah, we're good. Yep.
All right, cool. All right, we're going to switch over and talk about, because as well as doing a lot of music, you do a ton of artwork. We've done some collaborations together. That's actually how we first met.
Oh yeah.
So why don't you tell us about your, some of us I feel like might be the same, you might have the same answers for your music, but we'll see. What is your artistic process from idea to completion?
It's really evolved quite a bit. I started doing art back in 2021. I started drawing serial killer portraits. I really was never very good at drawing, and I wanted to get good at it, so I just, ordered up a light pad and started learning how to just, trace things out and do some shading with the charcoal. And I've always been drawn to charcoal ever since I was a kid. I used to mess with it, and I always knew I'd come back to it someday. And that's when I did, is in 2021, and started doing charcoal portraits. I started with Albert Fish, and that was my first artwork that I posted up online, and it sold right away, which I was blown away. And
Nice.
I did Ed Gein next, and he sold pretty quick. And the next thing I knew, I was cranking out serial killer portraits, and I think I sold over 100 artworks in my first couple of years making art, which is crazy. I was blown away. And I started with the portraits. I tried to get a little more creative. I started off with just shaded backgrounds, tried to incorporate a little bit of, fake blood, get the bloody look, which I love. And then I met Jason, and we started working together on some collabs, having a lot of the same ideas, which was, It was so cool to see such a unique, I don't know, place in the art world, and just connect with somebody who was just really right in the same niche as me. And it just felt like, wow, this is something here. Like when we had that same idea of the collaboration
pieces
on the same day, and that was wild.
Yeah.
So
that was wild.
And
cool, man.
I've worked with, I've done a bunch of collabs. I've done collabs with you, which is killer. I've done collabs. I love the Albert Fish collab that we did.
That was awesome.
That was amazing.
Man, I wish I knew where some of that was that customer got.
We got to make prints of that sometime.
You
Nice
should.
limited run. And
Yeah.
I worked. I think Kiana. We've both done some collabs with. I think she's an
Yeah,
incredible
she's awesome.
artist. Like
She is.
the
She's
talent there is just beyond.
insane.
I am nothing compared to her
Yeah,
skill. Like I just
dude.
go sit down. But
And
I was
she's
really
still young. It's like when you see these 15-year-olds shredding a guitar and you've like been working for years and you can't do it. You're like, what the?
yeah, it's true. Like the
She's
little
like that
11-year-old
with
Asian kid just shreds it up, and you're
yeah,
like, how does he even do it?
yeah, channeling, I guess. Walk us. What's like a real challenging piece for you, and walk us through that, or how you overcome obstacles in your art process.
Oof, as far as I mean, everything's a challenge with art. It was never so. The music, I feel like it kind of came naturally to me. A lot of it. The art did not. I had to work really hard at it, and but I feel like I've kind of developed some skills with the charcoal. I'm pretty happy about it. It's I'm to pick a specific piece that was very challenging. It's tough. There, a lot of them have a lot of challenging aspects, and uh, I don't know. I guess my process now has evolved a lot. Now, what I do is if I see a piece in my mind, I will. A lot of times, I'll try to find images to help me with references for parts of it because I'm not the greatest at just putting a pencil to a page and just pulling something out of my mind. It's an image, I have to kind of have references for that. But with my art, it's more about the concept than about artistic skill. You know what I mean? It's more about the finished piece and what it means than it is about me showing off my skills. That's less what it's about. So I don't. It doesn't bother me as much to take inspiration from other places. Like I've done a couple pieces where I will create an AI image to use for inspiration, and then things like that. But I love to draw. I've always wanted to draw the dark, perverted stuff that I just started drawing recently. Like I have a new series that I started last year. It's called the Daemonum Luxuria series, it's Latin for demonic lust. I've done 3 in that series now, and they're all very, pornographic images with demons and
Takes a lot of
religious.
censoring on social media sometimes.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I try to find some workarounds. Like on TikTok, you got the pause trick there. You can kind of have a little flash where you can try to get people to pause and catch the image
Yeah,
before while it's too quick for the censors to catch it. So,
yeah,
but it's tricky, man. I've been getting banned everywhere. Meta hates me.
yeah.
TikTok doesn't like me. They got me shadow banned. I can tell. I can see when they remove likes. I can see when they remove comments. I can see when they don't let my
Really?
post get the reach it's supposed to. It's not like
That's
it's
wild.
glaring. It's not like a secret.
Yeah, some of my artwork's got me some flags, or
But
slows me down, I guess you could say.
I've never heard
How do
of
you,
removing comments. That's wild.
yeah, it's crazy. I have 2 accounts on TikTok, and sometimes I'll go to one account from another to try and help boost my content. I'll try to like comments that are on there from other people, and sometimes, for example, there's a model in Spain, Cherry Von Darling, just this gorgeous metal chick who was willing to help me with a little free promo last year, which was awesome. She posted some pictures with my Murderous album and some Charcoal Monsters art. And I saw she's got a big following, over 100,000 people. And I recently saw on TikTok she had commented on my art page, but I could only see it from my Acidbrain Productions account. When I tried to log into my art account, it was hidden from me. So I know that TikTok is saying, "Oh, this big creator is commenting on his sketchy account. We're going to suppress that, so that it
That's
doesn't boost
wild.
his engagement." I've seen him pull a bunch of likes off my posts. I've seen him remove comments. Like the comment would be there, and then he'll go back and poof, it's gone.
Huh.
It's
yeah.
fucked up.
That's
That's one
wild.
of my next question is how do you promote your art, but you're going into that. It can be
Yes,
hard, especially
it's a
when
pitch.
it's something that obviously a lot of people are going to dislike. Which some of the artwork we do, it's going to piss people off.
Yeah. So I guess here, well, I should say to promote my art, you can
Yeah.
see every artwork I've ever done, full uncensored gallery on my website, acidbrainproductions.com. It's broken down into a whole bunch of sub pages. You can see like my true crime art is in one gallery. There's music, film, etc. artwork in another gallery. There's adult themed artwork in another gallery. So definitely check out the website and you can see everything. And that's where my only record of sales is too, which my Instagram, Charcoal Monsters Instagram, which got wiped out in 2022, I believe. I had 3,200 followers. I had put a year and a half of work into that account, just building it up. I had over 70 recorded sales in my story highlights. I had the page all symmetrical. It looked beautiful. And then poof, it was just wiped out right when I was starting to blow up and get people messaging me for art pieces and commissions. So that was tough to see that just go away.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it has its ups and downs being an artist.
Yeah.
Since we do a lot of true crime with this show, can you talk about you did had some interaction with Dennis Rader, the BTK Strangler? Can you tell us about that?
It did. That was a very interesting chapter in my art existence here. And you're actually part of this story as well. You sent me the outline for the Dennis Rader sitting by the lake piece, and I filled it in. I shaded him out and the surrounding areas of the piece, and then I added a bunch of blood for the river. I framed it up, and we listed that up for sale online. We sold it pretty quick, and eventually that made its way into Dennis Rader's orbit, and he saw that artwork, and apparently he was so moved by that piece that he had a person of his reach out to me and contact me about making a run of prints of that piece, which of course I was, really pushing my true crime content at the time, so it was a huge bonus for me to have that opportunity to speak with maybe the most evil serial killer alive in America right now. Like Dennis Rader I think makes the rest of them look like, church boys. I just think he's so profoundly evil in his crimes and the way they were executed that it's just another level.
Dude, it
Yeah,
kills
he
me
reached
that
out. What's up?
he still thinks like you talk to him. He still thinks he's a good Christian guy that just made a few mistakes. It's wild to like the way his head works. But yeah, sorry, keep going.
No, it is wild. I don't know. He wanted to make a run at this, so I let him do a run of prints. We ended up talking on an app for a little bit. Just I didn't get into the crimes talking with him, just because I know they don't really allow them to talk about that stuff sometimes, and I didn't want to ruin the dialogue. I wrote him a letter. I got a response. He sent me a bunch of artwork. He sent me prints. He sent me a photo of himself. He sent me one of the prints of our piece, which it was originally, we kind of named it Red River Raider as kind of a joke, just silly alliteration, whatever. And he ended up clarifying. He's like, "Oh, that's actually not a river; it's a lake." So I was like, "All right." So I changed the name of the piece to "The Hunter and the Fisherman," which I think if you just sit on that title for a little bit and you look into where it comes from and what it means, I think you might be able to have some takeaways from that. But we'll let people do their own digging on that one. He wanted me to design him a Halloween card, which was pretty interesting. He sent me a whole schematic for how he wanted this Halloween card to be designed, and I did it up for him as he wanted. I sent it to him along with a few other art pieces, and he was supposed to fill it out and send it back to me, but he burned me, and he never sent me back that Halloween card. But
Killer.
somebody published it in a book without my permission, so there's that. What do I expect,
Cool.
right? Get burned by a serial killer.
Yeah. So coming to the end, let's see. My notes say human bones, psychedelics, and Bashar. Would you like to comment on any of them?
Yeah, I mean, I got my first human skull last year, which was something I've always wanted. So I was really stoked. I was working an insane job. I was dying mentally and physically, but I was making a lot of money at the same time. So I bought my human skull. And
Very cool.
you said Bones, Bashar. What was the other thing?
Psychedelics. Any trip
Psychedelics. I
stories
mean, psychedelics is a huge
in the
part.
name?
Yeah, I just I think I recommend that. I don't know. I think everybody should take psychedelics. I think that it's a rite of passage in life. I think it just teaches you about the meaning of life, that there's more to this existence than what we see here. And I think a lot of people's mental health could be greatly benefit from experiencing that, you know, and I know mine did. Up until I tripped out, I just had a very finite perception of existence, and I had no conclusive evidence that I could see for myself to tell me that there's more than what we see here day to day. Psychedelics opened me up to that fact that there is more, and that when we die, that's not just the end. You know what I mean? And I think that everybody needs that. I think everybody deserves that. I don't think that it should be
Might
illegal.
fix a lot of problems in society.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very well put. Yeah, if people are munching down on a lot of mushrooms, I don't think we'd be having as many wars.
Sure. You see the ridiculousness of it all, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Bashar, I mean, Bashar.
Bashar. I love
Just
talking to people about Bashar.
Just to talk about Bashar on a true crime podcast, I think that's breakthrough shit. You know?
Yeah.
Like
that's what it's about.
Like, well, we've come full circle, you know?
Yeah.
To go from the depths of depravity and people like BTK to a guy like Bashar, Daryl Anka, who is just really, I think, helping elevate all of humanity. I personally am a believer. I discovered Bashar in, I think, 2022 or 3 on TikTok, and I heard him talking, and I didn't pay much attention. I listened to him, saw a few more, and the more he talked, the more I saw him, the more what he was saying just resonated with experiences that I've had and revelations that I've had, some of them on psychedelics, some of them not, and just perceptions that I've had. And the more I listen to him, the more my life has been changing. For those who don't know, Bashar is a man named Daryl Anka who channels an extraterrestrial entity who goes by the name Bashar, basically for our benefit. He's actually a collective of extraterrestrial energy on another dimension, kind of a mindfuck. But he gives life advice, and I definitely recommend go listen to Bashar because he has the wisdom of the ages, and he shares it with everybody. And I had my experience with Bashar that made me believe that he was legit. I submitted a question to his team, a video question. I wasn't on his mailing list. I just sent the question in. And a few months later, I never dream. Part of it is that I'm a big weed user. They say that suppresses dreams. That's probably why I almost never dream. Anyways, I had my first dream in maybe a year, and it was Bashar. I'm in the guidance office. Bashar walks in. And I'm like, what? Bashar? Is that you? And he's like, yes. The next morning, I had an email from his team asking me if I wanted to ask him questions on live. The day after that, I had a live interaction, and I got to ask Bashar 3 questions on a live event, and that was just incredible to me. I asked ChatGPT to calculate the odds of that sequence of events, said it'd be 1 in 18 million. So to me, that just reinforced that I need to be listening to this guy. He's offering up some real wisdom, and I'm here to spread the word. And yeah, it's all positive with him, and my life has improved greatly since I've started following his formula. I've escaped my 20-year hell in the kitchen world, and now I work in the cannabis industry at an amazing job. Everything's going really well.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. When you first told me about Bashar, I was like, well, yeah, you're a little crazy, but I love you, you know. And then like, and I really didn't pay it much mind because I hadn't really gotten to my life where I believed in channels and a lot of that. But it was very shortly after that I started getting into psychics and some of that shit, and I started seeing this fucking dude that claimed to be channeling this alien, and it was Bashar, and I did this whole click back to you, and I'm like, that's fucking wild. And I was very critical or whatever, skeptical, you could say. And little by little, I kept listening to him, and then it was hours and listening to him answer questions, and it made me a believer, man. It's some wild shit. It's pretty cool. So skeptical or not, it's worth people checking out. It's some pretty cool stuff. And after that, he was the first one. Now I'm like all kinds of cool channels and psychics out there. But yeah, that sounds like we pretty much covered everything, and I think we went full circle, like you said, man. Is there anything you would like to add?
Well, I guess I should say I got a new Gore record in the works. I don't know if it's going to be an album or an EP yet. Probably an album, but I got, I think, 6 songs completed. I've got a few more songs that are in the works. It's going to be brutal as fuck. I'm doing all the work on the album, doing the vocals now too. So I'm really going to try to, I think Steve, personal relations aside, I think he was a great vocalist, and I'm trying to just take what he did for Acidbrain and just take it to another level, because I don't want to go backwards. I want to get more brutal, not less, so I'm trying to just work on my vocals and get those to where they need to be and keep the music brutal as hell. I've got a couple projects that I just started on that I might be in the pipeline. One of them is, they're both going to be physical only releases, because I'm trying to incentivize, people to buy my shit, because people just want to stream music, and as a musician, you make 0.0032 cents per stream, and that's just not really helpful, as far as moving forward as a musician. But if I can get people to buy some CDs of some shit that's not available on streaming services, that will hopefully, boost me.
We're trying to do the same thing. I think with Stu, we're going to release maybe 1 or 2 songs, and then if you want the rest of them, you got to buy the album. Old school.
So one of these 2 releases is it's kind of an anal blast, anal cunt inspired release. I want to do kind of a bunch of super mini songs, like under 30 seconds, stuff you don't even get monetized for on Spotify, so there's not even any point putting it there anyways, because they're not going to play it for anybody. But like a little album of like mini joints, just like stuff in the style of anal cunt, but more the sound of anal blast, like stuff shitting on people in the scene who are out there doing, like Phil Anselmo with his Nazi salutes, and like Rage Against the Machine making a few albums and then just joining the machine, like Mark Zuckerberg, and like, shitting on people like that, and all in good fun. And then the other one that I want to do sometime is going to be called Hymns of the Night Stalker. I want to take Richard Ramirez's poems and I want to turn them into Acidbrain songs. Cool. And release it as a physical only CD. But that hasn't even been started yet. It's kind of down the road, but I thought I'd mention it.
Nice.
Got a bunch of art up on eBay, so check that out. Yeah.
Cool.
That's what I got.
Cool. Very cool. Well, this was fun. Nice to talk to you again. We don't actually talk very often.
Oh yeah, man. This has been awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
Yeah, you as well, man.
Yeah.
Stoked to be a part of the podcast. Stoked to be the first interview.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely let me know when this is dropping, and I will, post it up and try to send people your way.
Awesome.
And what's
anything else, Nate?
No, I'm good. Yeah. Like and subscribe. Gotta say like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Collaborating with killers. Yep.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, dudes. It's been real.
All right. Nice meeting you,
man. Love you, brother.
Peace.
Peace.
Breaking news as our officials say multimillionaire Jeffrey Epstein has taken his own life in a New York jail.
Yeah, Epstein pleaded not guilty.
The Isle of Sodom, where the libertines meet to prey on the flesh of the young and the meek. Presidents, princes, and the wealthy elite. There is no escape even when they're a slave. Motionless ground, all the way around. Choice is yours to be raped or drowned. The lecherous pigs don't care either way. Untouchable no matter what you do or say. shield of immunity, facilitating massive conspiracy, corrupting every tier of society. FBI